Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Nandana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya. Pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswati vyasa tato jayam udirayat nashtapareisha bhatreshir nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavat srimasyoke dear Bhagavati Krishna, my Bhagavan friends of the class, the Bhagavatam, my vibration. All that is troublesome but heart is all. Loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental sense establishes irrevocable fact. Om Nagyanim Dhandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurim Militam Yena. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. I see the mask of my I offer my respectful obeisance of him. Woo! As you know, today is a special day, and we're just going to look at like some synopsis on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. I think we'll get that. It doesn't have to be very long. I had the good fortune to travel with some devotees from Toronto in 1975. We went to the States. And we were more or less following Prabhupada's travels. We met him in Atlanta. That was the first time I ever saw him. was in Atlanta. And it was at the time that there were about 5 or 6 buses of the Radha Damodar party. These traveling buses went all over North America, mostly America, and they were distributing Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada came to meet with these young men, and he was saying, you are doing very good work, and tried to stay doing this service, basically. That's what he was up to. That saying to these great enlightened souls who are so caught up in delivering the mercy. It was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's appearance day when we were there, and Prabhupada spoke about him. He also offered the Guru Puja to him, and so I was watching that. And there are a couple of interesting things that happened during the puja. The whole tully was there with all the items that's usually done. And when it came to, the water, to put in the water conch, Prabhupada, there wasn't there. The tray wasn't complete. That happens sometimes. So Prabhupada said, bowl. Bowl with jal in it, right? Bowl. And Balavanta Prabhu thought Prabhupada wanted him to say Hari Bol. So, Hari Bol! Hari Bol! And the other devotees were saying Hari Bol. Yes, when it came time to offering the peacock fan, Prabhupada didn't go like the normal, like this, up and down. He was going kind of like this, in a circle, around a picture of Bhaktisiddhanta. Yeah, it's very interesting. Prabhupada also was teaching us a song, a bhajan. Parama Karuna Pahudvi Jana Nitai Gaura Chanda Sabhavatara Sarashiromani Ivala Ananda Kanda Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sutrida Vishwasakori. We can't take any more time on this song. We have to get on with the class. Okay. So it was nice to see him. He liked being in Atlanta. The kirtans were wonderful. Of course, a lot of devotees had come. I was on a morning walk with him, with Prabhupada at that time. I might have told that story. It was quite cold, It was quite cold for Atlanta. It was cold for us. We'd walk around and chatter. But we went to a park nearby the temple, and everyone was so set on hearing Prabhupada. Everything he had to say. So you kind of don't look where you're going. You kind of just listen to what he has, capture every word. And I wasn't looking where I was going, and there was a big sort of metal, light fixture. Just say like a lamppost. It was massive, The light was casting over a certain amount of area. So anyways, I was trying to listen to what Prabhupada was saying, and then I hit my head against, and it made so much noise. And immediately a bump came up on my head, my forehead. And when that sensation, that noise came on, my Sankirtan leader, Kiri Jadava, he said, shh, shh. I said, well, what about me? Okay. Anyways, it was a beautiful time, and Prabhupada did stay for the Sunday feast program. The devotees did do a play. This was all around the time of Bhaktisiddhanta's appearance day. Yeah, the play was about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meeting with the Chankazi, and breaking the mridanga, that whole episode, and the lion coming. So it was nice. There were some new people who came, newcomers, and they had a lot of good questions. Prabhupada made a remark in the middle of the play. I just can't remember what it was right now. But it was a very special time. So we're just going to read a little bit about what he said on the Saraswati. How long is this?
1.5 pages.
1.5 pages. We can do that, can't we? That's worth it. Okay. Should we do it together or one person at a time? One person at a time. Loud and clear. I'll just start. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the guru of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, appeared in Sri Kshetra Dham, Jagannath Puri, on the 6th of February, 1874, as the son of Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Wow, 6th of February. That's today, right? That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Okay, you're on.
In his childhood, he quickly mastered the Vedas, memorized the Bhagavad Gita, and relished his father's philosophical work. He became known as the living encyclopedia for his vast knowledge.
He preached convincingly against casteism and philosophical deviations from Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He tried to unite the four Vaishnava Sampradayas by publishing their teachings. Srila Saraswati Thakur earned the title Nrsimha Guru for his fearless and powerful delivery of the Vaishnava Siddhanta.
Mayavadis would cross the street to avoid confronting the lion guru. Besides being a courageous preacher, he was ornamented with all divine qualities and full of ecstatic love of God. He established 64 Gaudiya Math temples in India and centers in Burma, England, and Germany.
Srila Saraswati Thakur that curated Lord Chaitanya's appearance place at Yoga Pita in Sridham, Mayapur. Despite heavy opposition from the money-hungry cash Goswamis of Navadi, he built a beautiful Gaudiya Math temple there.
His three Brihat Mridangas printing presses in Madras, Calcutta, Krishnanagar used to pump out books, magazines and newspapers to spread the message of Sri Gauranga.
When asked why he printed a daily spiritual newspaper entitled Nadia Prakash, Sri Saraswati Thakur replied, if an insignificant city can produce 5 daily newspapers, then why can't we publish a newspaper every second about the internal ever-fresh transcendental activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead in his unlimited spiritual planet Goloka. Vrindava.
Apart from his father's writing, he published many authorized shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mangal, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, and his favorite book, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He predicted that foreigners would learn Bengali to relish the nectar left by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
He introduced many innovations to expand preaching all over India. He staged free theistic exhibits and
dioramas
depicting the pastimes of Sri Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Next.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, employing the latest technology, he even had animated dolls.
To commemorate the many holy places visited by Lord Chaitanya, he installed marble impressions of the Lord's lotus feet. Breaking tradition, he let his sannyasis wear tailored kurtas and overcoats, ride in cars and motorboats, and carry Mahaprabhu's message across the sea to Europe.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's revolutionary preaching ideas sprang from the Sastri principle of Yukta Viragya set forth by the Rasa Acharya Srila Rupa Goswami. Being an eternally liberated soul, Srila Saraswati Thakur knew how to perfectly engage Maya, the illusory energy, in the service of Lord Krishna.
Following Srila Thakur, Vinod's footsteps, he preached Devi Varnashrama to harmonize society and provide spiritual fulfillment for all, advocating the teaching of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. He taught the science of devotional service and showed thousands how to attain pure love for Shri Shri Radharjika Giridhari Radha Krishna.
Aside from his phenomenal preaching success in India, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's greatest contribution was Srila A.C. Bhaktimarga Swami Prabhupada, whom he initiated and inspired to distribute Krishna consciousness all over the world. When Srila Prabhupada was asked to describe his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, "What can I say? He was a Vaikuntha."
In Radha Govinda's eternal pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan, Srila Saraswati Thakur serves as Nayana Manjari. His Pushpa Samadhis are at Radha Kunda and Radha Damodar.
Jai, Hare Krishna, Jai. And there's some of their highlights about Bhaktisiddhanta. When he was born, his umbilical cord was wrapped around his body like a Brahman's thread. That was a sign of auspiciousness. And when he was a baby, the Rat, in Jagannath Puri, where this family was living, mom and dad and brothers and sisters, the Rat stopped there. It just, that's what happens sometimes. It just stops. So his mom took him and brought him to the edge of the cart. And just so happened that around Jagannath, the garland broke loose and fell on the baby. So that was a great sign. There's a lot we can say about him. We know that he very much liked chanting Yashamati Nandan. He liked that, especially at noontime, to sing. He opened up 64 Gaudiya Math centers around the world. As was mentioned, Burma is one of those places. He encouraged devotees who were in those places outside of India to do what they could to encourage people. And of course, some of his disciples were saying, people are not coming, they're not interested. So he said, well, serve chicken then. Serve chicken, if whatever it takes to get people to come. So I don't know if they did it or not. Prabhupada spent about 10 times with him to visit him and give classes. And he said, whenever you have some money, use it to share Krishna consciousness. He also felt that Prabhupada in time would do a lot because some of the Gaudiya Math members were complaining he's not doing enough. Of course, he had to earn a living and he had to take care of his family and all that. That's responsible, right? But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj said, in his time, he'll do so much. Also, when it came to the Vyasa Puja offering, which is traditional to honor the Guru, and he had written one, Adoriol, and it's beautiful. Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved. Impersonal calamity, thou hast removed. Yeah, it's beautiful poetry, that Prabhupada. But Bhaktisiddhanta's Guru showed us, see, my disciple has done this, So there's a lot of things to say about it. He was a Naishtiki Brahmachari, and he would just chant all day during the Chaturmasya. There was also a leak that was coming from, because Chaturmasya means rain is coming. There was a leak in the pandal or the tent that he was in, and he just had someone get an umbrella. He just kept going chanting. Yeah, so he was very tall, and he's very innovative. And like was mentioned, he did these carnivals, and he had everything featured in the carnivals. One section is called the spiritual world, and there they had the dioramas and all that kind of. In another section, he had all kinds of sort of mundane things going on, including wrestling and things like that, and some, filmy songs, although there weren't any films but mundane songs were there. He even had books there by gurus from outside the tradition, He did whatever it took to attract people, get the numbers to come. Yes, so there's a lot we can say about him. He was very fearless. He was very strong because he was a Naishtiki Brahmachari. And he had incredible memory power. Amazing. And when you look at the Brahma Samhita, if you've ever seen that text before, he does the translation for all that. Says, oh my God. For someone who doesn't have English as their first language, you're convinced that he's like an incredible leader. Incredible leader. Yep. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Why he had to dress like his disciples like Western?
Oh, he himself would dress in a hat and a coat and, and wear sewn clothing because traditionally you don't even have kurtas, See, this is all loose cloth, right? That's it, Nataria, and then, you just tie it, and the same thing with the dhoti and same thing with the sari. But he'd wear sewn clothing. Why? Because he was trying to mingle with the powers that be, He was trying to get in good with made them feel okay. When I walked the Fiji Islands, the Mormons are very active there, the Mormon community, trying, converting people. And just to blend in, instead of the boys wearing, they stuck to the white shirts with a tie and short sleeves. But instead of a pair of pants, they wore these, it's almost like a kilt. The men in those days, they wore grass skirts, the native people, So now they have these, it's like very classy kind of, like almost like a kilt, like you know what I mean, like a dress to the knees or something like that. So there he is. He was very bright. And he was being criticized also by some of the powers that be at the time because he was recruiting people. And they wanted, people to be ready to join the army. Kind of like what happened during Prabhupada's time. There was Subhas Chandra Bose, who was a contemporary of Prabhupada. And that if you really want to know about the history of India, you have to know about him. Netaji, that's his other name, Subhas Chandra Bose. And it was, Subhas Chandra Bose was very instrumental in getting the British out of India. Yes, Gandhi did his part, but perhaps Subhas Chandra Bose was more effective, Not like he had that military strength. You get out or else we'll cream you. He was quite a military genius, Netaji. And his story is very interesting. Nobody knows how he disappeared, when he died, Anyways, a little bit of history there. Prabhupada had so much reverence for Bhaktisiddhanta, so in all of our temples across ISKCON, we have Prabhupada and we have Bhaktisiddhanta, right? And then we go right up to Gorkashore Das, Babaji Maharaj. In some temples, they have a little image of Bhaktisiddhanta and Prabhupada. Like in Montreal, they have little murtis there. They have a nice, sweet little looking things. Yeah, so he's quite a scholar, and he was a very great proponent of, speaking against casteism. And he felt that other people could join, and he was being criticized. Or that's Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his dad, and there he is, Guys, don't get any ideas about this. Anyways, don't worry for this. Okay. You'll take yours off. One day. So his family, I had a picture of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife or Bhaktisiddhanta's mom. Just trying to remember her name. I had had as a bookmark forever, for years and years and years, and somehow or other got lost. They're an extraordinary family. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, amazing. He was a magistrate, like in the court of law. He was like a judge. And all the songs that he wrote. Amazing. And yes, that's what we can say. One of his brothers was Lalita Prasad. He had some philosophical differences, but anyways. for the most part. That's a little bit about him. He's very inspiring. You know. He's tall, straight, serious, like that. You could probably play his role. You get the right glasses. If you ever do a play about him. Yeah, any questions? Yes.
So Maharaj, another name for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is God Karuna Shakti, which is in his pranam mantra, that he is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. But at the same time, when we mention he's a lion guru, and like our image come that okay, he was really strict.
Well, he was lion guru means because when he was quite young, if anybody was a Mayavad, you know, sadhu, he'd go to him and he'd go like this. He'd judge, come on. Why do you kill Krishna? Why do you kill him? And he was very young, but when he did that, so people got scared of him. And he was very tall, like he's a head taller than, he's like Bengali, he's from, Bengali, from that part of the, Puri, where people are short, the men are short. But he was a towering figure. So you see the kind of clothes he's wearing? She was the coat, which is very British-like. And of course, he kind of compromised. Would be driven around in cars, which sadhus never did in those days. But it was just a way to get in and be accepted. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took sannyas to be accepted, even though he was very young. Devotees use these devices sometimes. Okay, there's a lot that can be said about him, like I said. That's great. Okay, we have a little, yes.
So my question is, I think like chanting is really helping me with that, but how can you find peace in other people's judgment on your spiritual path, on how you like
People judge what you're doing as a devotee? Is that
no,
what you're
not
saying?
really. No, it's just like how do you find peace
How do you find peace within yourself?
when from like with their ignorance, if that makes sense, or like
Peace
how do you
in the midst of their ignorance.
yeah.
Well, you have to be like a camel. He just moves along. He just moves forward. Dogs are barking all over the place. So let the dogs bark. There was some a couple of women that are interviewing Prabhupada in the States. And how do you, their question was, how do you, if people are negative against you, how do you replenish your energy? And basically Prabhupada's remark was, don't take it seriously. Don't take personally what people are saying. Just stick to your duty, like a easy way to say, stick to your dharma. To your dharma, do your duty. And then you're protected. But we can't be swayed by people's attitudes or opinions out there. We'll be criticized for being escapists, and so many other things, sentimentalists. Mahaprabhu is criticized by Prakashananda Saraswati's sannyasis. Those people, they're just sentimental. They don't study Vedanta, Vedas and stuff. So, but thank you. Yes, bro.
Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur named Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as Bimala Prasad, and that name is also related to you as well. So can you please talk about the name?
That name is
the name Bimala Prasad.
Yeah.
Is related to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and you also. That I
Me?
Yeah.
How is it really? I like Prashad, but I don't know how else to
So would you like to say something about that? Why?
Pardon? I'm not sure. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, right? And this is some, I guess that's supposed to be.
How is that name related to you?
I don't know.
How is it related to
I'll tell you.
Starts with a B.
Yes.
So it's BH. Yeah, I'm not
I'll
sure.
tell later, Maharaj, because I have something I'll show you.
After the exercise, you'll tell me. Okay. All right, anybody else? Okay. Well, we don't have too much time. All of you, I put something out there. We did a music video with the help of Sartak yesterday. It's called Prabhupada's Boys and Girls. As a special treat, would you like to see it?
Yes.
And it's about, and I got a call from Krishnadas yesterday that GBC decided that there will be Vaishnavi gurus who are in North America. Take it easy. All right, would you like to see it? You can just get it off the YouTube channel. We've got it there. Oh, yes, okay. So let's turn off the lights and let's look at it. Hopefully the volume is going to be good. Yeah. Because I'm a supporter, so that's why we put this out. It's one of the plays. It's one of the poems that I wrote. So Nityananda worked hard to get the video together and get the music together. We decided what kind. Are we ready to go?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, on your mark, get set, Govinda.
Early 70s, the Hare Krishna movement. North America enjoyed a great recruitment. We were a growing, glowing family, a blessed bunch existing happily. Prabhupada's boys and girls flourished under
So we hope you liked it. Hare Krishna. So that was a big issue in 1975 that this kind of thing started up. And it was by one particular sannyasi. I won't mention his name out of respect. And he was one of the people in charge of the Radha Damodar party. So this philosophy was going around. And if you ever get a chance to hear Praharna's side of the story, it was horrible what went on. And mostly North America got the effect. In Canada, it was mostly Toronto. There was strong discrimination against the ladies. We got mostly affected by America, and but nobody else felt it. Never. So then, more recently, it's come up again. We had a discussion about this with Sureshwara, if you recall, last summer when he came here. Yeah. So we never really recovered. Certain attitudes are still there, but we're trying to make it better. We're trying. We have to try. Right? What do you think? Any questions on this or Bhakti Siddhanta? Yes.
In general terms as well, today in ISKCON, people think, oh, if sannyasi or brahmachari is there, they tend to give more care to them.
Sure.
And then I was agreeing to that point that grahasthas are sometimes like not given proper care, although they are more seniors. So how can we change that attitude to equality?
Well, anybody who's a real bhakta, let's say anybody who's really demonstrating the qualities of being a strong devotee, that we can work out. Yeah, it's cold now. It works for a while, then you have to shut it down. They should be respected, especially Brahmins. Brahmins are the gurus of the community, right? And there's more of them, Grihastha Brahmins, than there are sannyasis. How can we change it? Well, I think it comes automatically. When people are teaching, they get inspired. People just have respect for them. And in regards to that, even in India, there's a lot of fairly, let's say, well-known, established female gurus. So, and amongst the men, some are grihasthas, some are not. Anybody who gets the man, there's some very popular people out there. One particular one is, they asked him, have you read the Bhagavad Gita? And he said, I don't need to. Hare Krishna. There's another one who's all kind of earrings and all dolled up and everything like that from Mauritius. And I tried to understand, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what people are, I don't know what they're attracted to. Like logically, it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyways, we've got Prabhupada and, we've got him. He's not here to, physically here, but we still have him and we need to promote him. I'd personally like to hear a little bit more, when we play tapes in the kitchen, I'd like at least 50% of the kirtans to be Prabhupada, so we get used to him and hear. Here in the temple also, we have once a week, we hear from Prabhupada. And I don't know if it's on your day off, but there's a need to establish, get him in the center of our culture, of our lives. Yeah, it's a fact when people see saffron, untouchable. I mean, in a positive way, untouchable. I can't, or only the feet. But anyways, we've got some saffron-clad people here, because that's how the movement started, with the saffron. Could be yellow, because we're just novices, we're just beginners. But some people have determined, I'm gonna be a brahmachari my whole life. And that's okay. I'm one of those odd fellows that decided to do that. Yeah, any other questions?
It's not a question, but I'm fairly new to ISKCON, and I've recently got to know about these things, about issues dragging along 1976.
Yeah.
So I hear it now, but as someone who was coming to the temple, attending sessions, kirtans, events here, and then living in the temple, I know what I'm saying is that we don't really feel that in day to day.
Yeah.
Like it's very well managed in Toronto. I don't know about other places.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Canada, it's not bad, North America, most places, it's fine. But you will have some temples in ISKCON where you have some fairly substantial ones, size one, where the women are in the back in a corner. And when I go to these temples, I just go nuts. I says, why? Because in Prabhupada's time, the men were on one side, women were on the other side. It's very Hindu-like. We got a Muslim program going on, in some of our temples where the women are way in a corner, not seen. And they're shorter usually, have you noticed that men are often, and on the average, a little taller. So they get to be on the front and then the ladies are in the back. And men's shoulders are kind of square, so gotta give the ladies a chance, So the way that some people have adapted or, let's say, interpreted our culture, through the books is not appropriate. It's not. And most of our Indian leaders, when we went for voting for these things, that we had to go through so many years, bring it up again, and people say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And then they decided after that to have a moratorium. Well, you have to think about it a little bit more. And that was a little bit of a push from Indian leaders. But most of the Indian body devotees, leaders, were for it. It was just a few very, say, charismatic or, more loud, white-bodied sannyasis and grastas who don't want to see this happen. So the dynamics are very interesting. But if you read on Lilamrita, you'll get the story as to what was happening at the time. And, so anyways, whenever you're dealing with human beings, there's going to be problems, miscommunications, and misunderstandings. It's just the way it is with human beings. Yes?
Maharaj, I want to know your story. Like, how did you decided to take sannyas in such a young age, like 30?
Okay, it is Bhaktisiddhanta's day, But just in brief, there was the GBC personnel at the time was wanting to have, sannyasis in his zone. So I was a candidate, and I just went along with it. I just said, okay, Haribol. Yeah, and I was 34 at that time. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And he's my sannyas guru also. Yeah. So our philosophy, this body. If somebody's Krishna conscious, does it matter if it's a man or a woman? It doesn't matter, right? If you're speaking the truth, what's the big deal? But suddenly it's so important when it comes to, having female gurus. And it was here here in Toronto that it was spoken, up in Prabhupada's sitting quarters. When Anuttama came, senior, one of the last times, I told him that it was right in this room here, that Prabhupada said, yes, there are, in our tradition, in our history, there are female gurus. And Anuttama, what? It was here? Yeah, it was here, it was in this room. I think Praharna was with us at the time, So it's a famous room. To put it like that, yeah.
So where I get confused, and it's not really a question maybe, but like in Hinduism, it's so beautiful. Like we have so many deities and deities that are female.
Right.
Durga Ma, Kali Ma.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Yeah.
How come these people don't have the intelligence that, like, if we are praying a deity that is female, then not respecting women?
Yeah.
How come they don't see it that way?
Why didn't you ask them? I don't know, it's beyond me. I just know that one major advocate of, not having ladies as gurus, his mother was an extreme feminist. So it affected him adversely, right? I mean, feminists had some issues, right? But when they go overboard, they go just push it too much the other way. People say, "Whoa, I can't handle this." That's the way some people react. Anyways, we've had discussions about this back and forth. You just get kind of tired of it after a while. But Kalakantabru, whom he's a big advocate of doing this, and then myself, that's why I thought I want to say what I want to say in poetical format. It's easier for me. And so the last little while, there's been a lot of stuff going on out there. So if we start in North America, you don't have to make a big deal of it. There's no threat. Usually gurus are older people, mature. And so if you have a few grannies that are going to be gurus, what's the big deal? Why should anybody be threatened? If it's a gorgeous dame, then maybe, okay, it's not advised to have a young person in general to take up spiritual leadership roles. It's just not a good idea because they haven't fully experienced life yet. And who knows, somebody could be all hyped up as a young person, but later they find out, I hit 40, oh really, I think I really need to get married now. So then it's too late. And there's nothing wrong with being married. Prabhupada was outstanding. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was an incredible saint. Look at all the kids he had, right? Brahma, who heads up our Sampradaya, he's a grahast. He's got lots of kids. Yes.
With this decision that was made by GBC yesterday, does this also mean that women are now eligible to take sannyas? Because in some of the lectures, Prabhupada mentions that women must be...
No, Prabhupada, sannyas, try to understand what sannyas means. It means you're on your own.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea in a culture that's supposed to protect women. They're going to be taken advantage of. But I know that Yamuna Devi, she was talking to Prabhupada about like a convent idea where women could stay together and encourage each other. So Prabhupada was for that. It never really got manifest, but it did happen. But we did, Yamuna was with Prabhupada a lot, and she was quite close, physically close, kind of like a daughter, father kind of relationship. But she told me personally because she was living in Canada for a while at Sharanagati, and she said there was a point at which Prabhupada said, he can't be so close, that she could not be so close, physically close to him. It would not, don't give people the opportunity to chatter and talk and gossip. So she had to keep a comfortable distance. And we hear her singing every day, right? Go in the temple, except for on your days off. So we hear her, and this Prabhupada liked it. He wanted it, George Harrison produced the song. And it's wonderful, but people love it. Okay, we're just a little overboard now. We have to, for the most nectarian part of the day. What is it? It's like you're knitting something. Knitting.